Hello students, we are going to study the operations research. This particular name is given for the research in military operations, and hence its origin goes back to the World War II, where the effective allocation of limited military resources to various military operations has been researched, and then this particular branch of management has been evolved. It's a fantastic branch of management which will cover the optimization of all the scarce resources. Now, we can say that the operations research is the applications of scientific methods and techniques and tools to problems involving the operations of a system so as to provide those in control of the system with optimum solutions to the problems. As you know, there are two resources at the end of the day which are accounting for us, that is the time and the cost, and these two resources are always scarce, these are always limited. The money is limited, the time is limited, and hence to improve the productivity, we have to either improve the productivity by minimizing the inputs and maximizing the outputs. So now if we go ahead, the operations research is also known as, we can call it as the management science or the decision science, quantitative techniques, and also the operations management. So under these names, this operations research has been known. Now let's see the definitions of OR. OR is a very popular word for operations research. So the science that applies mathematical and computer science tools to support the decision making. This is the one very basic definition of the OR. A more elaborative definition is given by Operations Research Society America, where OR is concerned with scientifically deciding how to base design and operate man-machine systems, usually requiring the allocating of scarce resources. So again, here you will see that the resources are limited, so that's why we are going to optimize them. Also, Arthur Clarke, he says that OR is the art of winning wars without actually fighting. One more definition by Morse and Kimball is given as OR is a scientific method of providing executive departments with a quantitative basis for decision regarding the operations under their control. On a lighter note, T.L. Sati, he gives the definition of OR as the art of giving bad answers to problems where otherwise worse answers are given. So now with this definition, we will just again see we will see the characteristics of OR. Now it's a systematic approach. It is also interdisciplinary because there are so many different teams which are being involved in the OR. Creative ability for the decision maker. Now to explain about this interdisciplinary team approach, now let me tell you that in World War II, when this British Air Force, they planned for the base to determine the base patterns for searching of the submarines, and for this particular problem there were a team which was included three physiologists, two mathematical physicists, one astrophysicist, one army officer, one surveyor, one general physicist, and two mathematicians. So in such a way it was an interdisciplinary team. There is also a creative ability of the decision making. It's a scientific approach, it's a systematic approach. There are some objectives which are to be defined, and then we have to work on that. You can use a digital computer because the data is huge, and it gives you the quantitative solution and not qualitative. It is not in terms of good, bad, better, or worse, but it is the quantitative. It actually shows, it gives you the quantification of the results. It's a continuing approach because you can continue working on the same solution ahead. And the last and not but the most important is the human judgment. So everywhere when the human mind is applied, you can find it out that the operations research, it gives you the best solutions for the problems. So the steps which are involved in OR are defining the problem, observing the various data, or the you can say the steps included in that, You have to formulate the problem, test the formula, and then analyze it. So it's a continuous process. So again, you can change it as per your requirement. The formula can be changed and it can be analyzed later on. So OR, because it can be useful for complex organizations where huge data is involved, there are a huge number of choices which are there, and also the time pressure from the top management is also always there. For cost optimization, we have to use operations research. So the applications, a few examples which have been given over here, like for example, deciding where to invest capital in order to grow, or figuring out the best way to run a call center, or getting more value out of ERP, CRM or other software systems, deciding when to discount and how much to discount. This is a very basic, because for the requirement for the business. So it is going to decide your profit and the loss. You can locate the warehouse or depot to deliver material over shorter distances at the reduced cost, getting more cycles out of manufacturing equipment, optimizing a portfolio for investments, solving complex scheduling problems, and so on. So the list can be ever increasing. Even you can use it for your day-to-day life also. If you see the scope of OR, it is in defense operations, in industry, as actually it has started in defense only. So there are so many different various applications in defense operations, like administration, intelligence, operations, training and supply. In industry, for the production management, you can use it for the distribution policy, for the work study, for optimum product mix, for loading and unloading facility, and so on. For marketing management, you can go for the product selection, timing, marketing research, distribution, sales forecasting, sales promotion, and also to find optimum number of salesmen. In the financial management, it can also be used for applying the cash flow analysis, for the credit policies, optimum replacement strategies, claim and complaint procedures, and so on, dividend policies. In personnel management, you can use for the forecasting of the manpower requirement, selection of suitable personnel for due consideration for age, education, skills, training, mixes of age and skills, etc. For purchase department, for bidding policies, for rules of buying and supplies, equipment replacement, determination of quantities and timing of purchases, and so on. Now you can see for the research and development, you can find out or you can determine the area of R&D, scheduling, resource allocation, project selection, reliability, personnel in organization behavior. It is for the personnel selection, scheduling of the training program, skills balancing, recruitment of employees. In manufacturing, you can use it for the inventory control, projection, marketing balance, production scheduling, production smoothing. For even for accounts also, you can use it for the cash flow, fund flow planning, credit policy analysis, planning of delinquent account strategy. Also for the general management, you can have the decision support system in MIS, forecasting, organization design, projection management, strategic planning, and so on. Accounting, again we have covered a number of things like cash flow, etc. In government planning also you can use. Now to go back in the first 5-year plan, this OR, operations research, it was also involved in finding out the or in structuring the first 5-year plan, and in that it was also stated that India could become self-sufficient in food merely by reducing its wastage by 15%. So this was the outcome of the operations research when it was being used by the government also. So for the government, for hospitals, for life insurance, for construction projects, and in various other projects, you can use the operations research. So basically, when you want to use the operations research, you have to quantify the problem and then quantify the results also. So the methodology for OR is, first of all, it is a orientation. You have to find out what type of, in which area we require the problem is actually there. Then you have to identify the problem, you have to define the problem by picking up the main bottlenecks in the process. You have to validate the and output analysis you have to do, so that you are going to get the problem, the constraints, the objective function. So after the formulation of this, you will get the solution. Now then, after getting the solution, you have to implement it, and at the same time you have to monitor it. The pros and cons of the same formula, it is to be noted down, its data is collected, and again a model is formulated for or it is reformulated. Again the process, it goes in the circular way. Now this is about the operations research.